driving essay. How do I get past worry? Not by trying harder. How does that go for you? Try to stop worrying more this week. That makes it worse, right? Well, if you knew that it's bad for you. No, that doesn't do it. Here's the heart issue. God, teach me, take me, and by experience, not just by what you hear. Here's the illustration. When I was in college, and I think it's the only time that I actually have ever done a ropes course. Anybody ever done a high ropes course? Okay, a few of you have. When they find these hundreds of years from now and archaeologists dig them up, they'll think it's like a torture device, I think, of some kind. It's like, what would they do with these things? It's just these courses where they have ropes, lots of ropes, and you try to climb walls and you climb rope ladders and you get to these real... We had one in college. I was part of a college fellowship, and they said, look, we're going to take you guys, we're going to mold you as leaders. This is going to make you strong leaders, take you to this ropes course. You'll never be the same. Okay, we'll go. So we go, it's in the summer, and it's a Christian camp, and they've got these courses, and there's these different levels. They start you out kind of smaller level, but since it's a Christian camp, they always have to name everything something out of the Bible, right? So all of these courses have some kind of biblical reference. So like the first one I think was like Jacob's ladder, so that's Christian, so we're going to climb these ropes. It's Jacob's ladder. And the other one was called like a leap of faith, and then the last one was called the screamer. And if you're like, I missed that in the Bible, Cliff. Where is that in the Bible? Well, actually it is. It's very biblical because in biblical times, people, when they were 30 feet up and they fell, they screamed, just like we scream today. So it made sense because you start falling from that height, you're going to end up screaming. So that was the hardest one. So they get us ready and prepared. Here's what they would always do. Before we even got on the course, they'd gather us around and they'd give us a little sermon, just like I'm doing here. A little sermonette. Here's what we're going to do. We're staff. We're trained. We know everything about this. We want to let you know how safe this is. We want you to know that the ropes, because you'd go up and you'd be attached to a rope, and that would keep you safe. If you fell, you wouldn't fall to your death or anything like that. They've got you secure. We want you to know these ropes are so strong. They could lift an elephant. They're going to certainly hold for you. You have no worries for the strength of the ropes. We want you to know that these carabiners, I used to call them these little metal thingies, that would hook on. He said, these things are nearly indestructible, made of titanium. They'll never break. You have nothing to worry about. You are secure and attached. And when you go through this course, if you do what we say, you're going to be safe. No worries. Everybody, me included, as they're giving us the little sermon, we're going, sounds great. I believe you. I don't think anybody there was going, I don't believe it, I don't think so. They were like, no, I believe these guys. And then we got up, and when you get 30 feet up, and it's just ropes, and there's not really much of a solid footing up there, you realize there were some people who believed in their head, but their stomachs did not believe the same thing that their head believed when they got up there, because suddenly, something's queasy going on in their stomach, and they're thinking, hey, my stomach doesn't believe, my armpits didn't believe the same thing that my head did, because people are sweating profusely and we haven't even done anything yet, because there's this total fear that says, I know in my head this is safe, but the rest of my body has not yet caught up with that belief. Now this, I think, is so helpful for me to think about Christian transformation. You and I could sit here and I could do a sermon series on worry for the next 52 weeks. And some of you are like, yeah, I could see Cliff doing something like that. 52 weeks on worry. And we could have worry inside and out, knowledge out the wazoo. We could say, I understand it, I believe it, but it would still be just here. And at some point, we've always said this, the Christian transformation takes place from what you believe or what you think in your head down to what you believe in your heart, and then it results in actions. But that has to move. How does it move? By faith. And when I say by faith, I don't mean a feeling. I mean experience. I mean you actually have to step out. You have to get out there and put yourself in a place where you're going to say, what I'm about to do is trust that God is exactly the way Jesus describes here. A heavenly Father who knows what I need, who cares for me, and I will structure my life, my decisions around that truth and live it. And see what happens when I fall. The thing happens is that the first time that you go up on a ropes course, you're scared. You really are frightened. The second time you go up, you're scared and you're really frightened. The third time you go up, a little less. Because by this time, the first time you go up, you fall all over the place. But when you fall and you're like, oh, 30 feet, here I go, and suddenly the rope that you're attached to, which is attached to an instructor, which is attached to an anchor, and suddenly you're like, hey, it does hold me because here I am swinging, and it's just holding me up. I didn't fall to my death. And the next time you go up, you think a little bit less about falling, a little bit more about keeping your balance. And you can do that only because you've actually experienced what it's like to fall and not be destroyed. And that is part of what the Christian life of transformation is like. Learning how to fall and realize that God really does care, and he caught you and he held you.